Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 2. We'll present our mini research about inflectional process. But before we start our presentation, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Madina Ulia Aureli as the second speaker and the moderator, and my partner.
I am Lia Sutromo as the first and third speaker.
And me, Mauri Septihania, as the first speaker.
I am Maulida Zikrina Fadila as the fifth speaker.
And me, Marifatila, as the last speaker.
Okay, so without any further ado, let's start the presentation.
Okay, we would like to present our mini research on inflectional morphology. For the first slide, I will explain about the background. So morphology is a branch of linguistics that studies the structure of words and how words are formed. One important topic in morphology is inflection, which refers to grammatical changes in a word. These changes express meanings such as positions, voice, and degree without changing the word class, of course. And for the second slide, I will explain about the study focus of the study. This research focuses on inflection in 4 languages such as English, Sasak, Japanese, and Bimanese. These languages were chosen because they have different morphological characteristics. English mainly uses suffixes, while Sasak, Japanese, and Bimanese commonly use prefixes, suffixes, and circumfixes. And for the next slide about the data and method. The data were collected through interviews with native speakers and supported by online resources. And the examples represent inflection in 3 word classes, which is nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Through this comparison, we aim to show the similarities and differences in how inflection works across these languages. And the analysis focuses on the first one is identifying inflectional markers. The second one is classifying grammatical functions, and the last one is comparing inflection across languages.
Okay, in this slide, I will explain inflection in English. English has a relatively simple inflectional system. Most inflection in English is shown through suffixes, not prefixes. These inflectional morphemes do not change the word class, but they only add grammatical meanings such as tense, number, or degree. And also, the English inflectional appears at nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Okay, the next point is inflection in noun. English nouns are inflected for number to show singular and plural forms. The plural form is usually marked by the suffix s or es at the end of the word. For example, flower becomes flowers and book becomes books. For nouns ending in certain sounds, es is added, such as glass to glasses and box to boxes. The meaning changes to more than one, but the word remains a noun. And also, English also marks possession using the suffix s, apostrophe s. This inflection shows ownership or relationship. For example, Paul's means something belongs to Paul. In Francis, the apostrophe appears after the s because the noun already ends in s. The word it also shows possession. This inflection does not create a new word, it is only a grammatical relationship. Okay, next point is inflection in verb. The progressive aspect in English is marked by the suffix ing. It shows that an action is ongoing or in progress. For example, work becomes working and run becomes running. Other examples are studying and reading. These forms are still verbs and are usually used with the auxiliary verb be. And next is past tense inflection in English shows that an action happened in the past. Regular verbs form the past tense by adding ed. For example, open becomes open, work becomes worked, and walk becomes walked. This inflection marks time but does not change the verb into another word class. And the next point is past participles are used to express complete actions, usually in perfect tenses. English past participles are marked by ed for regular verbs and en for some irregular verbs. For example, fall becomes fallen and eat becomes eaten. The verb finished becomes finished. These forms are commonly used with has or have. And the next point is English verbs also show subject-verb agreement. In the present tense, verbs take the suffix s when the subject is third person singular. For example, he reads and she opens. This inflection only appears in the present tense and only with third person singular subjects. Okay, the next point is inflection in adjectives. Adjectives in English are inflected to show comparison. The comparative degree is formed using the suffix er. For example, smart becomes smarter, big becomes bigger, and small becomes smaller. This form is used when comparing two things. And the last point is the superlative degree. The superlative degree shows the highest level of comparison among more than two items. It is formed by adding the suffix "s". For example, smart becomes smartest, big becomes biggest, and small becomes smallest. The adjective remains the same word class, but the grammatical meaning changes. Maybe
Slide about inflectional in Japanese. In Japanese, inflection mainly appears in three word classes, which is nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Similar to other languages, inflection in Japanese expresses a grammatical meaning without changing the word class. The first one is nouns. The first in nouns, inflection is shown through possession. Japanese uses possessive clitics such as ku and mu. For example, ne ku means my position and ne mu means your position. For third person position, Japanese commonly uses a possessive phrases. For third person position, Japanese commonly uses a possessive phrase such as ne de, which means his or her position. And second, in verbs, inflection is related to voice. Active verbs include mangan, nulis, and nabok. To form the passive voice, Japanese uses the prefixes di in front as in dipangan, ditulis, and ditabok. Like it seems like Indonesian, but I don't know because I'm originally Lombok. I'm not Japanese people, and um, in this process, the verb remains a verb, and only the grammatical voice changes. And for the last one, in adjectives, inflection is used to express excessive degree, meaning to, or in Indonesian we can say terlalu, terlalu. This can be formed by using the suffixes ien or en, as in cili, cili, ciliin, cilian, kecilian. Ien, yeah, we pronounce kecilian, but after, yeah, as in cilian, meaning too small, or kecilian. I mean cilian meaning too small. Or by using the confix like ke, blah blah blah, and an on the last word, such as kegedean for too big and kedawaan or kedawan for too long. Inflection in Japanese function to mark a position, a voice, and degree, while the word class remains unchanged. Inflection in Japanese doesn't change word class. It marks a position, nouns, a voice for verbs, and degree for adjectives. Japanese uses affixation and possessive phrases to express the grammatical meaning. That's all. Thank you.
Now, I would like to explain inflection in the Sasak language. I will focus on three main categories: nouns, verbs, and adjectives, along with several common prefixes, suffixes, and confixes. Let's start with noun inflection. First, there is the prefix se. This prefix is used before nouns to express measure, time, quantity, or unit. For example, setahun means 1 year, sedang means 1 truck, sekedi means a little, semotor means 1 motorcycle. Second, Sasak also use possessive suffixes such as ke or ku, or mu, an or ne, and te. For example, kepengku means my money, bukum or bukumu means your book, balin or baline means his or her house. Klaste means our class. Next point is verb inflection. First, the prefix be. This prefix changes a root word into an activity verb without an object, or an intransitive verb. For example, bejora meaning to play, bejagur meaning to hit, bedait meaning to meet. Second, the prefix te is used to form passive verbs. For example, the jaw means be brought, the teteh or tebolang means be thrown, the polong means be cut, the bait means be taken. Third, Sasak also has active verb prefixes such as an, and nye. For example, tulis become nulis, meaning to write, pantok become mantok, meaning to hit, pia become mia, meaning to make, kela become ngela, meaning to cook, singga become nyingga, meaning to borrow. Next, the suffix ang is used to add an indirect object meaning to do something for someone. For example, singgaang means borrow for someone, empukang means hit for someone, piaang means make for someone, jauang means bring for someone, and baitang means take for someone. Next, the confix be an expresses reciprocal action meaning each other. For example, belampenan meaning hit each other, betandangan meaning kick each other. Another confix is te an, which shows passive benefictive meaning. For example, teisian means be reloaded, tebaitan means be taken, tejauan means be brought, tetulisan means be written. There is also the confix ke an, which indicates accidental passive action. For example, ketidaman means fall asleep accidentally. Next point is adjective inflection. First, the suffix an is used for comparative degree. For example, kodean means shorter or smaller, ingesan means more beautiful. Second, the confix ke an expresses excessive degree, meaning too much. For example, kekontean meaning too short and kebelean meaning too big. That is all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, so now I will explain inflection in Bimanis. Inflection in Bimanis, also known as Ngahimbojo, refers to grammatically changes made.
For your attention.
Okay, so now I will explain inflection in Bimanis. Inflection in Bimanis, also known as Ngahimbojo, refers to grammatically changes made to words by adding prefixes or suffixes. Okay, in inflection in Bimanis, there are three categories. The first is noun inflection, the second is verb inflection, and the last is adjective inflection. Okay, for the first is noun inflection. There are 1 point is possessive suffixes. In Bimanis, possession is expressed by suffixes attached directly to nouns. The suffixes indicate who owns or possessing something. Okay, in Bimanis, possessive suffixes is ku. Ku it's mean my, mu it's mean your, na it's mean his or her, and then ta is it's mean our. For example, umaku it's mean my house, and anana it's mean his or her father. These suffixes function similarly to possessive adjectives in English, my, your, his, or her, and our. And then the second is verb inflection, or verb prefixes. Verbs in the Bima language are often inflected using prefixes that express state, actions, direction, or movement. The first is prefix ma. The prefix ma is used to indicate a state condition or general activity. For example, maru it's meant to sleep, and then malampa it's meant to walk. This prefixes is commonly used for intransitive verbs or action that do not require an object. And then prefix na, the prefix na indicates an action, indicates an active and intentional action. For example, nangaha it's mean to eat, and then nanono it's mean to drink. And then prefix ka, the prefix ka is used to express movement toward a direction or a change of condition or state. For example, kadula it's mean to go home, katama it's mean to enter. These prefixes helps describe this directional action and traditions and transitions. Sorry. And then prefix ta, a prefix ta is used for movement related activities. For example, talampa it's mean to walk, talau it's mean to go out. And then subject agreement, ku, mu, na, and ta. Ku it's mean I, mu it's mean you, and then na it's mean he or she, and ta it's mean we. For example, no noku it's mean I drink, ngahamu it's mean you eat. And then prefix ra, the prefix ra marks passive verbs. For example, ra ngaha it's mean was eaten, ra wacha it's mean was washed. And then prefix di, another passive mark is di, often used in different contexts or styles. For example, di doho it mean was eat, and di laukai it's mean was visited. And then present tense ra, the marker ra show that an action is currently happening. For example, ngahira it's mean is speaking. And then the third is adjective inflection, and the last inflection is adjective. Adjectives in Bima language can also be formed and modified using prefixes and suffixes. The first is prefix ka and ma. These prefixes are used to form adjectives describing qualities or characteristics. For example, kadidi it's mean cold, and then mara it's mean fast. And then the last is excessive degree na. The suffix na express an excessive or extreme degree of an adjective. For example, kakedik na It's mean too small. Maybe that's all from me. Thanks.
Okay, I'm the last speaker. My name is Maria Patila. The last is the conclusion. The conclusion is the base of the analysis. It can be concluded that all four languages use compilation to extract grammatical meaning, but they differ significantly in form and complexity. English relies mainly on suffixation, with a relatively small number of evolutional markers. This explains why English evolution appears limited compared to the other language. In contrast, Sasan Bima saw a rich and complex evolutional system, using multiple prefixes, suffixes, and circumfixes to mark voice, position, degree, and grammatical relation. Javanese stands between English and Sasak or Bima, with moderate in inflation and frequent use of possessive phrase rather than affixes. The differences in answer across the four languages occur because each language has its own morphological typology. English is more analytic, while Sasak and Bima are more agglutinative. Despite these differences, our languages demonstrate that evolution functions to adjust word grammatically without changing the lexical category, highlighting both diversity and universality in human language. Okay, thank you. Maybe that's all for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.